Hey, Celtics Nation. Tonight is shaping up to be one of those high-stakes, edge-of-your-seat matchups that could really define how this season starts to take shape. After dropping Game 1 against the 76ers in a performance that honestly left a lot of fans scratching their heads, the Celtics have a real chance to come back and prove themselves in front of the Garden crowd. The first game was a wake-up call, no doubt about it. Tyrese Maxey, in just the first game of his career, came in and put on a performance that was nothing short of electric, and alongside him, rookie VJ Edgecombe showed a level of composure and skill that caught the Celtics completely off guard. Both of them combined for a flurry of points, rebounds, and assists that left Boston scrambling defensively, and the Celtics know tonight is about adjustments, focus, and execution. The Celtics have the talent to respond, and the key will be how they choose to handle these two dynamic backcourt threats. Maxey is explosive and creative with the ball, while Edgecombe has a way of finding the perfect shot or threading passes at just the right moment, making them a tough duo to slow down. Boston's defense has to communicate perfectly, switch smartly, and crash the board to counterbalance the offensive firepower of Philly. Even with Paul George out of the lineup and Embiid expected to play limited minutes, this doesn't make the challenge any less significant. Embiid is still a presence, but Boston has to capitalize on every opportunity to attack the paint and secure offensive rebounds, because points off second-chance opportunities could be the equalizer in this matchup. Historically, the Celtics have shown they can dominate the glass, and with players like Namias Queta capable of making an impact on the offensive boards, Boston can create extra possessions and force the Sixers to work for every point. Embiid might not be the unstoppable rebounding force many expect, but he is still formidable, and the Celtics must play smart positioning and relentless effort if they want to tilt the numbers in their favor. This will be especially important considering how lethal Maxey and Edgecombe are from long range. Both are shooting at impressive efficiency early in the season, and the Celtics must contest every three-pointer, close out with discipline, and limit open looks, because a couple of hot streaks from these two could blow the game open in a heartbeat. Offensively, Boston has its own responsibilities. Players like Peyton Pritchard and Derek White need to knock down shots consistently to keep the defense honest. The Celtics have the firepower, but Game 1 exposed a gap in shot-making that cannot be ignored. Pritchard, normally a career 40% shooter from deep, has struggled early in the season, shooting under 20% from three-point range, and White, while a capable shooter, has also been slightly cold from beyond the arc. These numbers have to improve for Boston to maintain spacing and allow the stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to operate freely. Tatum, as always, will carry a heavy load, but the effectiveness of the role players can make or break the game. The balance between defense and offensive output from the supporting cast will determine whether the Celtics can turn Game 2 into a statement win or continue to feel the pressure from Philly's young guns. The first game also highlighted the importance of rotations. Josh Minard's emergence as a reliable starter and contributor off the bench has already changed the way Boston can structure minutes. Players like Luka Garza, Tillman, and others provide depth, but the Celtics need the right combinations on the court to match Philly's speed and versatility. Garza's energy and effort are noticeable, and his willingness to fight for every possession sets a tone that can inspire the team. Meanwhile, Pritchard and White are tasked with not only scoring but facilitating the offense, making smart decisions, and ensuring the ball moves efficiently through the hands of the primary scorers. Every possession counts, and Boston has to find a rhythm that balances the intensity of the starters with the contributions of the bench in a way that maintains focus and tempo. When you look at the numbers from the first game, Boston allowed 10 offensive rebounds to Philly and was only slightly ahead on the defensive glass. The combination of Maxey and Edgecombe producing over 70 points, with high efficiency from both the field and three-point range, was almost overwhelming. It was a clear message that the Celtics cannot allow two guards to dominate the game at this level and expect to win. The adjustments must come in personnel matchups, defensive rotations, and, importantly, the mental approach to the game. The Celtics are capable of slowing one guard, but two at the level of Maxey and Edgecombe requires precision, discipline, and sometimes a little bit of luck in terms of turnovers and contested shots. Keeping Maxey under 30 points and Edgecombe in the high teens would be a realistic goal for Boston, as both are likely to score, but minimizing their efficiency and disrupting their rhythm could turn the tide. On the offensive end, Boston needs a more aggressive approach to spacing and shot creation. Pritchard, in particular, has seen an uptick in playmaking responsibilities, which is impressive given his shooting struggles early in the season. His assist numbers are solid, and that kind of distribution helps open opportunities for Tatum and Brown, but he must find a balance between creating for others and taking quality shots. White's defensive energy has been invaluable, but he too needs to contribute to scoring efficiently, particularly in catch-and-shoot situations, which can keep defenses honest and prevent overcommitment to the stars. Tatum's presence allows the team to relieve some pressure off the supporting cast, and Brown's consistency provides a second offensive option. But the Celtics will still require contributions from multiple players to overcome the young Sixers duo. The excitement around this game is more than just the individual matchups. It's about momentum, confidence, and setting a tone for the season. The Emirates Cup adds an additional layer of stakes, with points that could influence standings and the psychological advantage heading into future matchups. While some may not value the cup as much, it represents a chance for Boston to assert dominance, build chemistry, and test different lineups under competitive pressure. Early wins, especially after a tough first outing, can energize the locker room and foster belief that adjustments are effective. That belief, in a game as intense as this one, can be the difference between a tight loss and a comeback victory that reinvigorates the team's identity. Looking across the league, the Celtics are not in isolation. The Eastern Conference is proving unpredictable, with teams like the Bucks showing resilience even without Giannis and young rosters like the Spurs impressing with dominant performances. Orlando's recent wins indicate that not every team in the Cup is a guaranteed obstacle, which could give Boston a favorable path if they execute tonight. The key, however, remains on immediate performance. Every defensive stop, every rebound, every made three-pointer contributes to the larger goal of asserting control over the pace and rhythm of the game. The Celtics have talent, depth, and experience, but tonight is about translating all of that into precise, high-level execution on both ends of the floor. The adjustments from Game 1 are central to this matchup. Rotation tweaks, defensive focus on the guards, crashing the boards, and improved three-point shooting are all elements that can shift the outcome. The Celtics know they cannot afford lapses in focus, especially against a backcourt duo capable of explosive scoring runs. Efficiency on offense, discipline on defense, and energy from the entire roster will determine whether the Garden becomes a fortress or another venue where the Celtics face early season frustration. Momentum in these early games can shape confidence, and Boston has the opportunity tonight to swing the narrative back in its favor with a performance that sets an example of how they intend to compete this season. As we turn our attention to tonight's matchup, it's clear that the Celtics are entering a different game than the one they faced just a few nights ago. Game 1 exposed weaknesses, but it also gave Boston a blueprint for what adjustments need to happen. The backcourt combination of Maxey and Edgecombe was overwhelming in the first game, and tonight, the Celtics' ability to adapt will be put to the test. It's not just about individual matchups. It's about team defense, communication, and effort on every possession. Every closeout, every box out, every rotation matters. If Boston can force contested shots, limit open looks, and make the Sixers work for every point, they have a real shot at evening the series and taking control of the narrative. Offensively, the Celtics are looking to generate rhythm through ball movement and spacing. Tatum, as the primary option, will naturally attract defensive attention, which opens lanes and opportunities for Brown, Pritchard, White, and the rest of the supporting cast. The challenge is maintaining efficiency while also creating opportunities for others. Pritchard, despite shooting struggles, has shown an ability to facilitate and create opportunities, and his distribution will be crucial tonight. White's ability to contribute on both ends, particularly in creating catch-and-shoot chances, will also be a key factor. The Celtics need every shot to count, and every rotation must contribute in a way that complements the stars without creating gaps in spacing or defensive coverage. The offensive rebounding story from Game 1 is particularly important to highlight. Philadelphia was able to secure second-chance opportunities that turned into easy points, and Boston must respond by crashing the glass with focus and intensity. Naimi Escada, Garza, and others can help tip the balance, but it will take a collective effort to neutralize what was a significant factor in the first loss. The Celtics' ability to convert these extra possessions into points will be critical. Even with Embiid playing limited minutes, his presence on the floor changes how Boston approaches both defense and rebounding, and managing that dynamic while also dealing with the Sixers' guard play will be a balancing act that could define the outcome of the game. Looking at the young Sixers duo, Maxi's scoring ability and athleticism make him nearly impossible to ignore, and Edgecombe's poise and efficiency add a layer of complexity that forces the Celtics to be sharp defensively. Boston has the tools to slow one of these players down, but both simultaneously creates a unique challenge. Defensive assignments will have to rotate seamlessly, help side defense must be on point, and every transition moment must be calculated. It's a game of anticipation and timing, where a single lapse can lead to momentum-shifting baskets. The Celtics' communication on the floor will be as important as any individual performance, because stopping these two effectively requires a team effort that's precise and cohesive. The pace of the game will be another factor to watch. Philadelphia thrives in transition, and the Celtics must match that speed without compromising defensive structure. Turnovers, sloppy possessions, and missed opportunities can quickly snowball against such a dynamic opponent. On the other hand, when Boston is able to push the tempo and attack the basket aggressively, they force the Sixers into uncomfortable positions, which could open up three-point opportunities and lanes for Tatum and Brown. Maintaining balance between speed, control, and efficiency will be key, and the players' conditioning and focus will be tested as the game progresses. From a mental perspective, this game is about resilience and adaptation. Boston has the opportunity to erase the memory of the previous loss, but it requires focus from tip-off to the final buzzer. Confidence is built not only through scoring and defense, but through poise under pressure. Making the right decisions in the heat of the moment, executing rotations effectively, and staying calm during runs by Philadelphia are all part of the equation. This is the kind of game where mental toughness is as important as skill, and the Celtics' ability to stay engaged and committed throughout could determine whether they come out on top. The bench will also play an important role tonight. Depth provides flexibility and rest for starters, but also gives the Celtics the ability to sustain energy and maintain defensive intensity. Players coming off the bench must be ready to contribute immediately, whether it's through scoring, rebounding, or defensive disruption. The rotation patterns that Coach Joe employs will be essential in ensuring that Boston can maintain a high level of play throughout the entire game. The integration of bench contributions with the primary rotation will likely influence how well the Celtics can counter Philly's explosive backcourt. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what would be one of the most shocking moves in recent NBA history, whispers have started to circulate across sports media that Kevin Durant, the perennial All-Star and two-time NBA champion, is on the verge of signing a 4-year deal with the Boston Celtics. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation suggest that the NBA universe could be about to witness a seismic shift in the league's balance of power. Durant, who has spent the majority of his career dazzling fans with his unmatched scoring ability and silky smooth jumper, has been no stranger to speculation and trade rumors. However, the idea of him donning the iconic green and white jersey of the Celtics, a franchise steeped in championship history, is sending shockwaves through the sports world. Conversations in sports circles are buzzing with the possibilities. Could Boston, already boasting a young core of rising stars, finally secure the superstar they need to contend for a title every year? Fans have been divided on social media. Some are ecstatic, imagining Durant joining forces with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, forming a trio capable of rivaling any dynasty in the league. Others are skeptical, questioning whether chemistry and team dynamics can survive the influx of such a high-profile player. Rumors suggest that Durant's motivation goes beyond the championship chase. Some insiders hint at his desire to reinvent his legacy, perhaps embracing a fresh start with a team that has a historic winning pedigree. Boston's front office, meanwhile, is reportedly leaving no stone unturned. Executives are said to be working tirelessly behind the scenes, navigating salary cap logistics and contract details, with the hope that the Celtics could finally attract one of the game's premier talents. While Durant's camp has remained tight-lipped, the mere mention of a potential signing has caused a frenzy among bookmakers and fantasy basketball enthusiasts alike, with odds on the Celtics suddenly shifting in ways that would have been unimaginable just weeks ago. If this rumor proves true, it could reshape not just the Celtics, but the entire landscape of the NBA. Durant in Boston would mark a new era, one filled with high expectations, relentless media scrutiny, and a renewed rivalry with teams across the Eastern Conference. For now, though, the story remains in the realm of speculation, an intoxicating mix of hope, disbelief, and excitement that keeps fans glued to every report. One thing is certain: should Kevin Durant really commit to the Celtics, the league as we know it might never be the same again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.